Welcome to this session on tenses, the detailed analysis, detailed description for tenses. Tense, the definition, as I told you in the first introductory session, tense is the form of the verb which tells us the time of an action. That's why we have different major categories like present, past and future, and the sub-varieties that let us read the names of different subcategories. The simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Here under three main types we have for different subcategories. Each main type has got different subtypes like simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Same applies with the past. Simple past, past continuous, past perfect and past perfect continuous. Future also you have simple future, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. Let us look at the definition for tenses. Tense is the form of the verb. Main verb form already referred, it is V1, V2, V3 or ing. These are the main forms we have to look at. But just by looking at V1, V2 or V3 forms, we cannot identify which tense or which is the time of action that is taking or that is taking place or what that is under reference. For that we need every time we need a helping verb, and each tense form has got helping verb, one or two or three. Most often it is we have to see the different helping verbs. Sometimes it is just with one helping verb we can refer to an action under a particular tense. But sometimes it is more than one. Sometimes it is two, sometimes it is three. But every tense, it is mandatory, it's must that every tense is having at least one helping verb. We'll see about that. And now let us go to the major detail regarding every tense form that is under the present tense. Present tense in general that denote the actions happening in the present. So present tense in general, it is about the actions happening in the present. But why this much division? Then why we need the four different varieties under that main category? Let us look at the simple present tense. And regarding every tense, I told you to have an idea about the helping verb. First thing we need to know, we have to know about every tense is about the helping verbs. The helping verbs. In the case of simple present tense, we have do and does as the helping verbs. Why do we need two helping verbs? Why one is not enough? Let us have a look at the construction. Formation, let us have an idea later. But next thing we have to know about is the form of the verb, whether it is V1, V2, V3 or ing. In the case of simple present tense, to talk at the basic level, it's V1 form of the verb itself. But there we have to know some other detail, as we have two types of helping verbs in this tense. We have to look at a sentence, different sentences with the different kinds of subjects. See, Raju sings a song. When you talk about Raju sings a song, this is the first thing we have to note down the usage. What kind of actions can be referred using this tense? This is to denote an action that happens at the time of speaking. Definitely it's a present time action, but the action happens just at the time of speaking. In that case, Raju sings a song means this person, the subject, Raju, does this action at the moment of speaking. It's about an action that is taking at the moment of speaking. So definitely it's a present time action, but you can see subject as Raju. If you talk about that name, it's one person, it's a singular subject. And you can see, we know sing as the verb, basic form of the verb is sing itself. So why this S? From where does that come? We have to look at the rule then. Helping verbs, we know this tense has got two different helping verbs. And this is the rule. As per the rule, with every singular subject, the helping verb does is to be used. So just see the same action when performed by a plural subject. They sing a song. This also is an action that happens at the time of speaking. But why they sing a song? It's not they sings a song. It's only they sing a song. But in the case of a singular subject, you can see it's Raju. We know it's a name of one person and singular subject. You have only, you have to add an S with this main verb. So why it happens or how does it happen? We have to see just with the rule applying to the helping verbs in this tense. With all the singular subjects except I. That is the rule. Except I. Is I, we know it's a singular subject. I as a singular subject. But in the case of simple present tense, does as a helping verb can be or should be used with all the singular subjects like Raju, he, she, it. All those singular subjects will take does as the helping verb and all the plural subjects and the singular subject I will take do as the helping verb. And that is the difference you can see in the case of these two basic sentences constructed using the rule of this tense. Raju sings a song. You have to see Raju does plus sing a song. The main verb becomes, or we have to add an S or ES with the main verb. Raju sings a song means it's an action that happens at the time of speaking. But Raju is a singular subject, so you have to add does the with the main verb. The basic form of the verb is sing itself. The basic action is sing. But we have to add does because the singular subject is Raju is a singular subject. In the case of a plural subject, you have to add only do. When do is added with the basic form of the verb, that is the V1 form of the verb, there is no S or ES needed. There is no change in its format itself. So you can use that V1 form of the verb directly as well as such. So they sing a song. Now we will come across the details regarding the rules. So we have to use the helping verb does with all the singular subjects except I. Do should be used with all the plural subjects and the subject I. Do should be used with all the plural subjects like they, you, we. If you talk about multiple persons, the names of different persons, that also is plural. Plural, multiple persons performing the action. Then also you have to use do as the helping verb. And another major rule or major detail you have to, basic idea you have to keep in mind is the helping verb should not be directly used in affirmative sentences. What do you mean by an affirmative sentence? It's a positive declaration. Yeah, Raju sings a song. You are affirming something. You are telling that yeah, the person is doing something or the person does something. So that's a positive statement. They sing a song. That also is an affirmative sentence. A positive statement it is. In that case, do or does. We do not use it usually or normally we do not use the helping verbs directly. In that case, you have to add the main verb and the helping verb, the permitted helping verb. So if it is a singular subject, you have to add does. If it is a plural subject, you have to add do. And let us see how the forms will change according to the addition. Like does plus go will change the main verb to goes. That's why she goes. He goes. She does plus go. He does plus go. These are singular subjects. Eat plus does. It eats. He eats. She goes. These are singular subjects you know for sure because she, only one person is doing the action. He eats. Just an on the spot action, but how this S or ES is getting added with the main verb basic form, the V1 form of the verb, that is with the addition of does as the helping verb that is permitted with the major or that is permitted with the singular subjects in this particular tense. Just look at the plural subjects. When plural subjects come, we have to add do as the helping verb. We have to use do as the helping verb. In that case, you already add do plus go or do plus eat, do plus sing with any main verb form. You have to add do. Do is already added, but the difference is do plus go is equal to go itself. There is no change in the form as such. And you have to see S or ES is added because does is added. Here they is a plural subject. It's a plural subject and you don't have to add, you have to add do is already implied, it's there inside. It's already added with the main verb because it's a helping verb. Do is a helping verb. Does is a helping verb. So definitely while constructing the sentence in this particular tense, you have to add that. But the difference is when you add does with the main verb, V1, V2, V1 form of the verb. Only with the V1 form we can make all these changes. It's every time goes. It's every time eats, but never goes. After you have go, went, gone. You can never make any changes in V2 or V3 form. Every differences, every addition or change, form change you do with the basic V1 form of the verb. You get the idea? Yes. So, in that regard, S or ES, it says GO is the go is the basic form of the verb. But with that, when you add does, it's ES. It's not GOS. GOS is not enough. You have to add ES with that form. With the eat, you have to add just S with the for the form change. So this is the way you have to make changes in the main verb according to the number of people, the subject, whether it is singular or plural. You have to look at the number of persons performing the action. Okay, so that's why with the plural subjects, you have to add only do and do. When you add with a main verb, that is like go, eat, sing, run, think, you do not have a form change as such. Like do plus go remains go itself. Do plus eat remains eat itself. That's why with the plural subjects, we know do is the helping verb needed. So there is no change in the basic form of the main verb. They go, they eat means they do plus go. We do plus eat. But the above you can see these are singular subject. It's she does plus go. It's equal to she goes. When a verb is added with the do, no change occurs to its form. That's the basic things, basic idea you have to keep in mind. Now, the helping verbs do or does should be used directly while forming negative sentences and interrogative sentences. We know the different kinds of sentences that is already taught as a different lesson. There you come across positive sentences, negative sentences. Under declarative category, you can say that she goes. At the same time, sometimes you have to say she does not go. I eat. I do not eat. They sing. They do not sing. So that is the negative sentence. For forming the negative sentences in this tense, you definitely need the direct use of both the helping verbs according to the subject. That is, whether if it is singular, you have to use does directly. If it is plural subject, you have to use do only. But in any case, negative sentences and interrogative sentences, you have to use do and does, the possible or allotted helping verbs directly in the sentences. We will take different examples and it will be more clear. When does is directly used, S or ES should not be added with the main verb. Here you can see the same sentence, she goes. It's a positive statement. She goes is a positive statement. But we have to say in the same tense, we have to make the same sense, communicate the same sense that she does not perform that action. She goes. It's an action that happens at the time of speaking. But you have to see, you have to communicate that she does not go. At the moment of speaking, such an action is not performed by that particular subject. So you have to use the negative sentence. You have to construct the negative sentence. Then have a look at this negative sentence. She does not go. She is a singular subject. Does is the apt helping verb, but then she does not go, only go. You do not have to add es or es again. That is the rule given here. When does is directly used, es or es should not be added with the main verb. So you have to ask the question for the same thing. Does she go? You have to ask the question whether such an action is performed in the present. So we come across affirmative sentence, negative sentence, that's positive sentence and negative sentence, and a question also. You have to ask in this particular tense. A person, you get about an affirmation, like a person does something. So you have to ask the question, does she go? So does and then does, when it is directly used, you do not have to add s or es again with the main verb go or eat or run, sing, whichever it may be. Another example, he studies, he does plus study, he studies, studies. How will you ask the question? He does, or how will you negate the possibility? He does not study. He, singular subject, does not study. Then there is no s or es needed. You have to ask the question, does he study? Don't have to add s or es because does is already there. Raju does not play. If you have to say it in an affirmative format, Raju plays, P-L-A-Y-S, because Raju is a singular subject and you have to say, you have to add s or es when it is an affirmative sentence. Plays, s is enough with the play. So you have to ask the question and then how will you form it? It's does Raju play? That is the question. So does plus Raju, then there is no need of s or es. Now just have a look at the sentence or an idea that is giving you, that is taking a plural subject they. They go. Simply they do plus go, it's go. There is no form change. They go. In that case, you want to say again in the same thing, with the same case, you have to say that they do not go. Negating the possibility in the present. They do not go. So they go. Already there is no form change. So whether do is there or not, you have to add they do not go. It's do they eat or do they go? So question and negation, negative sentence and interrogative. Interrogation means question. There you do not have to add. See, you have to add do. It's not a direct. You cannot avoid using do or does directly in the case of singular subject or plural subject. Okay, and this main usage of simple present tense, I already given you the idea. It's an action that happens at the time of speaking. One more action can be referred using the same tense. That is, the actions happen in daily life can be denoted using simple present tense. This can be taken as one other important usage in with a simple present tense. She goes to office every day. She goes to office every day. That can be an action that is part of the daily life of the person. She, as it is singular subject, she goes to, go does plus go. She goes to office every day. If it is a plural subject, they go to office every day because they do plus go. They go to office every day. Enough, because they do plus go, there is no change in its form. Other part it's okay, but you have to look at the singular. See, office or school or campus, wherever it may be, you have to look at the singular subject, whether the subject is singular or plural, while constructing the sentences or communicating the idea in the present. That is an action that is happening at the time of speaking, or an action that is part of the daily life of this subject. You have to use do or does accordingly. So she goes to office every day, they go to office every day. Now you have two names here, Ratha and Rina, go to school daily. Because these two subjects, definitely it is a plural, so two persons are performing the action. So only do as the helping verb occurs there, and do plus go again stands to be go without change in the form. Now, one more major other usage, it's natural truths can be denoted using simple present tense. The natural truths. Natural truths like the sun rises in the east. Sun is a singular subject. So sun rises in the east. That can be taken as a daily life, a daily action, but more than that, it's a universal truth or a natural truth. The sun rises. Sun is it's singular subject, so does plus rise is equal to rises. It sets in the west, or the sun sets in the west. Setting is an action, but here sun again is a singular subject. Sun does plus set is equal to sets. Sun sets in the west. The earth and the moon revolve around the sun. Here earth and the moon, both of them together perform the action of revolving and revolve around the sun, because plural subject and do as the helping verb, there is no change in the basic form of the verb, because so revolve remains revolve itself. Here the earth and the moon revolve around the sun. These are natural truths. The other ones are daily life actions, something which we perform on a daily basis. We can use simple present tense to refer to those such actions. In the case of main usage, you have to keep in mind it's the action that takes place at the time of speaking. Because next tense, when we discuss present continuous tense, the actions are in the present itself, but the actions have a continuing nature. Here it's an action that is on the spot. I speak. Teacher speaks. We speak. You listen. Students listen. Student listens. All those can be an action just at this time of speaking. But next we will talk about the present action. Those are continuing. And in that case, or when we discuss the different form varieties, we will understand how important the divisions are. Just with the one present as the main category, we cannot communicate the nature of action completely well. To make it more specific, to communicate the things more specifically well, we need the four varieties really, or definitely. So that is all with the simple present tense category. Thank you.